This is the AirHog Star Wars Millennium Falcon Quad review and mods. Now you can fly the most iconic ship in Star Wars universe, the Millennium Falcon Quad, with iconic LEDs and authentic sounds. Let me show you the LEDs. It's really cool. Just like the Millennium Falcon, has two white front LEDs and has a blue bar in the back for the engines. The sounds actually come out of the transmitter. There's a little speaker and you can enable the sounds, and when it crashes, this has a crashing sound, and when it has Chewbacca, it has all kinds of stuff. I'll let you hear it later. The Millennium Falcon uses 4 rotaries. It's a quad. It's ducted. Doesn't have much pitch. Has a yaw that's slow, but it's the Millennium Falcon. I mean, come on. How can you go wrong? You're flying the Millennium Falcon. How many people can say that? I'm flying the Millennium Falcon. This is something that I made. This is a model of the Millennium Falcon. That's how much I like the Millennium Falcon. This is actually the newer one. This has a different radar than the original, and it had sound effects, and it was cool. You know, the cockpit and all. It had turrets that spin. It had the landing gear that reside, and so I had to get this. This guy was really expensive. I mean, you're talking $70 for something that quad wise, it's a dog. It doesn't fly well. You have to fly it indoors, but you're flying the Millennium Falcon. How many people can say that? How many people can actually say they're flying the Millennium Falcon? This has something called hyperdrive. It's one of these 2 buttons. I don't use it, but if you press one of those buttons, this kind of jerks forward, and this light changes a little bit. It gets darker, but it doesn't do much. It's just a gimmick. The controller takes 6 AA batteries, so it's pretty heavy, and it has a lot. It's basic AirHog controller. It has a cable here that you use for charging. I pulled that cable off and made my own little charger for it. It was just quicker than doing it this way. It has a USB input, so you can bypass the batteries here and charge it via your USB port. Flight time is about 5 minutes with the battery that it came with. I fly it now with these 380s, and I'm getting like 6 minutes. This is the battery that it came with, and it's a 450, and AirHog is known for putting cheap batteries in their quads, and eventually this battery failed, so I had to go to a low-C connector so I can put in these 380s. And with these 380s, I'm getting about 6 minutes, and I even put 650s in this guy, and I'm getting up to, with the 650s, I think I got up to 8 minutes. Let's check the weight and see what this guy is. .4 grams. That's without the battery. So you add another 10 to that with the battery. Let's see what the size is. Motor to motor, it's about 105. So it's a relatively small quad as far as the size of it, but it just makes it look bigger because of all this foam that mimics the shape of the Millennium Falcon, the cockpit and so forth, the turrets. and all. What I had to do is I had to cut this bottom turret out so that I can put a low-C connector on it along with different batteries. I can interchange different batteries instead of charging it and having to, or flying it and then charging it, having to wait for it to charge several hours. This I cut out. This is the bottom turret, so now it actually spins. Let's get on to some flight footage. This is the flight review of the Star Wars Millennium Falcon quad. Let me take the controller, power it up. Take the quad, power it on. Nice flat level surface. Adjust my hat cam. Okay, it's ready. Now you'll hear some sounds coming out of this guy. Up throttle. Flies nice and slow. Here is the pitch. Not much pitch. Enough to fly indoors, but that's about it. Here's the yaw. Very slow yaw, but hey, you're flying the Millennium Falcon. Here's it flying around. Here's the remote with its sound effects. You press this top right hand button, you'll hear different sound effects. Oop. Startup of the Millennium Falcon. It will do like Chewbacca and firing and stuff like that, but it's not doing it now. These batteries, it has a 380 milliamp in it now, so it'll last about 6 minutes. It's going pretty good indoors. I wouldn't recommend flying this guy outdoors. It just it doesn't have the pitch and roll angles to fly outdoors to fight the wind. It does fly very well indoors, you can see. And plus you can bang it off of stuff, and it's nice. You can bang it off of walls and stuff, and it just bounces off. Sometimes it sticks to the walls actually. The quad sucks it into the walls and it just sticks there. But it flies nice and easy, and it's great to show friends. Hey, I'm flying the Millennium Falcon. That concludes the flight review of the Millennium Falcon. This is a novelty, but it is fun to fly. After all, it is the Millennium Falcon. It's fun to show your families and friends. The mods that I did are, at first I only had to do this little guy, and this was the battery adapter. But then after a while the Airhog battery got weak and I had to replace it. So I did a major mod of, I cut the foam all the way around this bottom area. This is where the turret is on the Millennium Falcon, and I cut that away and I added a low-C connector to the Millennium Falcon so I can plug in low-C type batteries into it, and it's not hard to do. You just need to take your time. The turret points towards the front. You need to take an X-Acto knife, go all the way around, go slow, because you don't want to actually puncture the battery and cause it to heat up and burn up. So the best thing to do is just take your time and go slow. The battery sits right here normally. You just want to take your time, go slow, and it's not a complicated mod. It's just those two wires for the battery. The Airhog has weak batteries. It always has had weak batteries. For some reason, they don't put good quality batteries in. My final rating is a 70 as a quad. This is a novelty. It's expensive, and you can only fly it indoors. But this is the Millennium Falcon. That adds 20 points to the score. It always sits on my coffee table. This is a conversation starter. Leave your questions in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.
Please click on the like button, comment, and subscribe.